Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why the American dream is to leave America. Let me preface this video off by saying I have nothing against America. I think America is a great country and America has given me and my family so many opportunities. I want to just talk about my opinions here and why I think it is time to leave America and why the American dream is no longer what it used to be. Am I going to be leaving America anytime soon? No, I'm trying to start a family here. I'm a married man and I want to do things here in America where it's possible and I have the opportunities and the resources to do so. But this video is mainly aimed towards people who might be thinking of leaving soon or in the future, right? So let's first talking about the cost of living in America. So around 13, 14 years ago, houses in my area used to be around 50 to 60,000, $100,000 max. Now the median average house is 545,000 to $585,000. For probably a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, which is obviously insane. The cost of living has risen so much in the last 10 years that people are struggling to keep up with it because of their wages maybe at work and the lifestyles they're trying to provide for their families. It's really gone to absolute shambles in my opinion. Then we have the cost of food. You take eggs, milk, your meats, chicken, beef, anything, for example, that all has gone up in price. I'm not saying it's impossible to buy, but you want to buy in bulk, right? And if you buy in bulk, it's going to cost you $200-300, and that's $200-300 that you won't have. I get it. You got to buy food. You got to survive. You got to eat. I understand that. And I know people are able to pay for it, but look, the reality is that these prices have risen so much that it's hard to keep up with, right? I mean, milk, a gallon of milk here in America is what? I don't know, $4, $3.50, and it used to be much cheaper than that. Yeah, it's just wild to think about how much the price of food has gone up. It's like we have to go hunt now for our food literally instead of going to buy it because it costs so much. You'd rather just go hunt for food instead of buy it. It's absolutely wild. And then we have work-life balance. I think that work in America is literally crushing people and demoralizing their spirits because you work so hard all day, every day that after a hard day of work, you don't have time to pursue your passions, your dreams, because you're so tired and all you want to do is lay down and sleep. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then you want to spend time with your family after work, but again, you're so tired, you have no energy left. I'm sure there's people out there that just want to do their work and go home and just chill in peace. And then there's the other group of people who actually want to pursue something that makes them happy, actually get better, and not just work that job that you dread going to every single morning, taking the same route to work and taking the same route back home after work. It's just a constant cycle. It's a clown world I think we live in. And look, having a job isn't bad. Obviously you're providing for your family, but all I'm saying is that there's not enough time in the day unless you really push yourself and really get after it to do the other thing that you want. So like your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. A lot of people I think want to do those things but are so held back from their jobs and the stress of the job and all the rigorous tasks they have to do at work, whether you're on a construction site, whether you're in an office, wherever it may be. I know it's hard. I know that in some countries in Europe, it is frowned upon for you not to take time off. I know that they give you at least 30 days, whereas in America you get, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks if you're lucky, if you work at a company that allows that kind of time to be taken off. And then for paternity leave as well, I think they give you a lot of time off for paternity. Maybe someone can comment below how much it would be, but yeah, here in America, they just want you to work and basically never take that time off. If any time, they would want you to take it at the end of the year maybe, and no more than, let's say, 5 days max. I know some companies may be different. Again, you guys can comment below and tell me your experience with the companies you may work with, right? Yeah, it's crucial to take time off and to really heal your mind, especially here in America, because we all work so hard and we really want to do the best we can, especially those who have families, even those who don't, who may be single and want to achieve great things here in this country and in life in general. So now let's talk about community, meaning your neighbors around you where you live. Here in America, I don't think a lot of people get to know their neighbors as much as they should. Whereas in Europe, people know each other, people know their next door neighbor, people know people down the street, and that's what makes Europe safe, especially in Bosnia. I mean, every person on the street that they live on, they know each other. They talk to each other. They are allowed to come into each other's homes because they care about each other and they respect each other. That's why there's not a lot of crime over in Bosnia. But as opposed to America, you can't just walk into somebody's home uninvited, go into their backyard, sit down, drink coffee. That kind of thing doesn't exist here. In America, if you do that kind of thing, you're going to be seen as crazy, and you might get the cops called on you, right? You may even get a God forbid a gun pulled on you. So in America, it's a lot different for a sense of community. That's why, since the community is so weak, in my opinion, that's why there's so much crime, because people don't care about each other. And then once you don't care about each other, there's no helping one another. When you need help, there's no one to help you. Like, let's say you have a flat tire and you may not know how to change it. Your neighbor, won't be there to help you. Whereas in Bosnia, I know for a fact that if you have a flat tire, there will be someone to help you. For example, when I was in Bosnia in 2021, I rented a car from my neighbor, and I drove it all the way down to Mostar, just outside of Mostar a little bit, and the axle kind of just like broke in a way, and the tire, the wheel like turned in a weird way, and we were all there. We were all trying to figure out how to fix this tire, and obviously, we didn't know, and then we just had to call a mechanic to come and help it. But yeah, I always felt a sense of community whenever I was in Europe. I never felt like I was alone. I never felt like there was no one to help. But here in America, you're lucky if you have someone to help you, right? If you have your parents, if you have maybe siblings, if you have close friends, your cousins, relatives, right? You need those things here in America because that's very far and few between, right? So that's why it's important to have a sense of community everywhere you are. Let's talk about the quality of life in America. How many of you are genuinely happy with day-to-day living in America, right? For example, you go to work, you make money, you go home, and then you do whatever you got to do at home. Does that really satisfy you in your heart of hearts, right? Maybe it does, but I know that for a lot of people, there are people out there that want to start families that would make them happy. There are people that have kids that would make them even happier, instead of just trying to make money all the time. Money isn't everything. I always say this, but obviously it is very important. I am not denying that. Let's talk about infrastructure, crime, the quality of food. Obviously, fast food is around us everywhere. Yes, you are able to go to stores and buy quality food, quality produce, organic stuff. But I don't know how many people are actually doing those things, right? And the infrastructure. A lot of roads around here are bad, right? They're just patched up. They're not really redone as they should be. They're not. The roads aren't paved in the way that should be. And then crime. Obviously, crime is a huge thing in America. I wish it wasn't, but unfortunately it is. And hopefully that changes somehow soon, right? Sooner or later. I know crime has been a big thing here for decades, for many, many years. But yeah, the quality of life is much different. I don't know. In my opinion, the quality of life isn't great because again, you're just not satisfied and not truly fulfilled, as much as you could and want to be, right? Especially in Bosnia, when you go there, you're honestly just so relaxed and you just want to, not just want to, but you can essentially do whatever you want and be wherever you want at any time. Obviously, if you have a family, that's not the case. You have responsibilities, right? You got to be with your kids. You got to be, doing stuff with the family. I get that. But It's night and day. Bosnia versus America quality of life. And then we have one of the simplest things in life that probably most of us take for granted is walking. My wife and I, we like to go on walks. Obviously, there are sidewalks to walk on here in America. You know, that's great and all, but the vibe and the views aren't the same as they are in Bosnia. In Bosnia, you have the mountains you're looking at. You know, they're overlooking you. They're in the background, and then the smell of the fresh air. You know, the greenery around you, the beauty. It's just pure beauty and pure, you know, just calmness around you. And in America, it's more of a city life, more commotion, more you gotta go there, you gotta go here, we gotta be done at this time. And that goes for walks too. Like we gotta be done at this time, you know, because we're always on a schedule here. We're always on a time schedule. And that's one thing that I dislike, because you know you really want to take your time on some things that make you happy, that give you that quality of life that we talked about, that give you the good vibes. Last but not least, we have safety. Obviously, every single person wants to feel safe wherever they are. They want to feel safe around their surroundings, and they want to feel safe with the people they're with. You know, I think that a lot of people feel unsafe actually, whether they're on a walk, whether they're in the store, you know, wherever it may be. And that is a huge thing for a lot of people I know. Whereas in Bosnia, you know, you can go on a walk, you can go to the gym, you can go to the store, and you know essentially nothing will happen. You know, the crime rate is very low, whereas here the crime rate is very high depending in the area you live in, right? If you're in the countryside, less. If you're in the city, more so, right? So safety is a huge thing that I think we take for granted. I know that there's a lot of safe places in America, but you know, I guess you always gonna have to, you know, watch your back in a sense, even if you are in a safer kind of community and safer area. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button if you did. I hope this video brought some value to you guys, and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. It would help me out a lot, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.